All right, we are live here, and welcome everybody. My name is Cho Lim. I will be doing a series on success, and this first series. There's going to be 4 parts, and if you like it, you can put hearts, please. Hearts on the right corner there, and basically these 4 parts are there's three parts to the topic that I'm gonna do. How to determine your next step towards success. The first part is discovering purpose. And part one is going to be talking about purpose driven decisions versus your own preferences. Part two is going to be talking about finding fulfillment in what you do in your life. How do you find fulfillment based on who you are? And then third is prioritizing your decisions based on your purpose versus other things versus preference. So, purpose driven decisions versus preferences. Okay, so the first one is that. So very often when people are trying to discover their next steps to what to do next in your career, what to do next in your life, most people look at what do I love, what am I already good at, and that's what people do all the time. Thanks for the hearts. Keep them coming. So, what do you love? And the problem with that thinking is that what you love will change over your lifetime. What you're good at will also change over your lifetime because you will learn to be better at different things. Some people think they're very good at one talent or one thing, and over time they discover they're much better at something else. So those are not great factors to choose, even though the world uses that, right? Even though the world uses that to choose. Most of the world uses their skills test to see what they're good at. So what I believe and what I've always taught and coached people to do is to look at your overall purpose. So the first thing to do is discover your purpose. Discover what you're excited about. Discover what your life will be. In other words, discover your values. So you might want to do some value exercises and things like that. And I have some, and you can message me if you want to get some of those exercises. But discover who you are, because your decisions for your next step in your life has everything to do with who you are and where you're going and what you see accomplishing in your life. And so that's your very, very first step. Too often, I just finished an event where I spoke in front of a crowd, and many people's mentality is, okay, what opportunity should I look for next, or what what model, what businesses should I get involved in? And I think none of that matters to you at this point until you know what your purpose and what you want to accomplish, right? Even if I gave you the perfect business model, the perfect career, the perfect job, it doesn't mean that you can accomplish it. You can only accomplish it when you've grown yourself to become the person you need to, which requires you to know what your overall goal is, and then you can grow specifically towards those goals. As an example, if my goal, let's just say, is to be the best parent in the world, then I'm gonna have to learn to know how to be patient to be a parent. I have to learn how to communicate, things like that. So those are areas I would grow specifically in if a goal is parent. So you have to grow specifically with your purpose. Okay. How do you find that how do you even start? How do you approach that? Does that mean that you do nothing? Does that mean that you don't actually go and find work or whatever your next step is? No, I think that you keep doing the things you're doing, but with a focus on discovering yourself. So the first thing I would do is I would do an exercise, a self-reflection exercise, and I can send this to you guys if you message me and all that. Add me on Twitter, add me on LinkedIn, and all that stuff. But basically, the exercise goes: what if you had 5 years to live, but you have $300 million? You won the lottery. It's $300 million, but you went to the doctors and you have cancer, and he says you have maximum 5 years to live. What would be the 30 to 50 things that you would want to accomplish? So what does that look like? What are things that you would want to own, experiences you would want to have, people you would want to meet, relationships you want to mend, places you want to visit, impact things that, impact focused organization you might want to start, different things you want to affect, legacy you want to leave behind. So you want to list all these things you want to accomplish, not just things you want to do, not just things you want to own, not just the situations you want. What are the reasons behind? And that's how you're gonna be able to pull out the core of who you are. Your values will come out of that, right? So you want to discover your values, and then there's other value exercises as well that I have that you can probably find them out there too, but. The goal is to discover your values. You got to find out what your stated values are and what your actual values are. And a lot of times you can measure that by looking at what your daily activities are. How's your schedule? What do you spend time in your schedules doing? Who do you call when you make phone calls? You look at your text messages and your phone call list. Did you make those calls for them, or did you make those calls for you, or is it neutral? So those are the things you want to look at as you're discovering yourself, discovering your purpose. Okay, so for those who just joined, we talked about doing a self-discovery exercise to discover who you are. List 30 things that you would want to accomplish in your life, assuming that you have unlimited money, but you only have 5 years to accomplish these things, because that gives you the urgency to only put the most important things in there. Okay, so that's an exercise you want to first do to be able to discover yourself, and from that, you want to be able to draw out of that. You want to pick the top 3 to 5 things that are the top things. Pretend you have to give up everything else. You listed 30 things now. Make sure you do up to 30 things. Sometimes it'd be very, very hard to do, but you want to get up to 30 things and then pick the top 3. Pretend that you have to sacrifice everything else but these 3 things. What would those 3 things be? And so out of those 3 things, you can draw a lot of values from that. And I sit down with people all the time. I look at their top 3, and then I'm able to help them understand and decipher what they really are all about and what's important to them, right? So out of those 3 things, you'll find your values. Out of those 3 things, you would draw a direction out of that, and that's how you decide on your next step. Is what you do is look at the values. Then you can match what the things that you're about to look into. If you're applying for a certain job, if you're looking to get into the restaurant business or whatever other business you get into, or jobs, careers that you want to get into, or there's the things you want to study, you want to go to school for certain things, right? So if you're doing that, thanks for the hearts, guys. If you just joined, if you can, top, I guess the bottom right corner, if you want to, if you like it, lots of hearts, that'd be appreciated. So thank you very much for that. So you want to determine how do you decide on what to do next? Does whatever course you're about to take, whatever degree you're about to go into, whatever job, businesses you're going to go into, do they actually, the values of that, of the results and the values of the industry and the job and the businesses you're getting involved in, does it give you what you want out of your life? Does it match with the values that you've listed out in your exercise? Is it what you want to accomplish? So those are the things you want to look at in that. So that's part 1, and that's just a brief introduction. Again, for those who just joined, here are the 3. This is going to be a series. I'm going to try and do 3 times a week. Probably I'm going to aim for once every day. I do a lot of speaking, so I'll try and do once a day where I can get this recorded, and then you guys can listen to that, and I will try and release information to you ahead of time, but when I'll be doing it. But basically, is part 1, how to determine your next step towards success, and then there's 3 parts to that, which is number 1 is purpose-driven decisions versus preferences. Number 2, finding fulfillment. Number 3, prioritizing based on your purpose. And then number 2, the second part, once you discover your purpose, will be critical foundations of a successful life. And there's 4 parts to that. Part 1 is knowing your core values and beliefs. Part 2 is developing a healthy self-esteem. Part 3, the power of a good inner circle. Part 4, how would you rate your EQ? And then the third part, once you develop your critical foundations, would be managing your resources. Right? There's 4 parts to that as well. How do full time, how to creating the dream budget, how to avoid burnout, how to meet anyone you want, to do with networking, and then so once you manage your resources well, the 4th thing, then you are ready to choose the path that leads you to success, whatever career, job, opportunities out there. Then there's 4 parts to understanding that, which is first is introduction to the 4 cash flow quadrants by Robert Kiyosaki. Then the first and the second one is which of these four mindsets are you? Because just knowing the quadrants, a lot of people have heard of it, listen to the video and listen to the audios and all that, read the book, but they don't know how to apply which mindset are they, because even if you understand the thing, you don't know how to react and how to make decisions based on that. until you know which mindset you came from as a conditioning from your childhood. Because I was conditioned as an S quadrant thinker, which I'm now a B quadrant thinker, which helped me create a passive income. And then the third part is the power of passive income, which I was talking about. And then the fourth part is developing a B quadrant mentality. So these are the four different things, and it's going to go on to about 10 different subjects. But these are the four subjects I'm going to be doing a Periscope on each one of these. So thank you for tuning in. I will be, on my I'm new to Periscope, so you have to excuse me on that. I'm going to see if I can put the information out there on Twitter. Add me on Twitter. My handle is Cho Lim Vision. So it's CHOLIM, M as in Mary, Vision, right? So Cho Lim Vision, and CHOLIM Vision. So add me on Twitter, add me on LinkedIn. You'll just look me up, Cho Lim, and you'll be able to find me. I'm from Vancouver, BC. So you Cho Lim in Vancouver, BC. Add me and send me a quick note, because I get a lot of people adding. So just send me a quick note, and I can give you the information that you want if you want to join us for these calls and for these Periscopes. So thank you for the hearts. Thank you for listening, guys. I will be back tomorrow night, and I will put on my Periscope if I can on my site, so I can tell you what time I'll be on. I'll be doing a series of success talks relating to things that I've gone through and things that I've been mentored. And I'll be doing a talk on each different section of how do you make good decisions towards your version of success, which requires the first part is all about defining success for you. What is your purpose? What is your success? Okay. So if you like the show, click on hearts on the bottom corner, lots of hearts, and I will release the information on my site. You can contact me through any of these means, Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever else, and I'll see you tomorrow.